Thank you to my patrons. Your generosity and commitment to my work is astonishing. Please consider becoming a patron today. Simply click the link in the description below. Thank you.
Yes, we do have free will in heaven, but you got to realize the people that have free will in heaven use their free will to dedicate their life to God.
So in other words, it's possible to be free and only do good things, correct? You just said it. Kimarte, come on, you just said it.
But no. Listen.
No. I'm sorry. We're not going to change the topic, and we're not going to wriggle out of this one. You literally just said that the people in heaven. You literally just said. I'm going to say this as many times as I've got to say it in order.
Wait.
No. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get this out.
Your point is, I can give birth to a zebra because everyone can give birth.
Kimarte, that's not my point.
Not a zebra.
No, that's not my point.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not, Kimarte. No, that's not my point. No, that would only be an apples to apples comparison.
No,
I'm sorry. No, I've just muted you, Kimarte. I've just muted you because I'm tired of being interrupted.
Take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come to you that way. Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Kimarte.
Say that one more time. Forgive me.
Kimarte. I know it's pretty difficult. Kimarte.
Kibarte. Would it be B for Bravo and
K?
You know, K at the start, but the middle was a Kibarte, like B for Bravo.
Mar.
Oh, M for Mike.
Yes.
Kimarte.
Yes.
It's forgive me for dwelling on this, my friend, but it's important for me. You've taken the time to join my live, and I want to take the time to get your name right. That's important to me. So
I appreciate that.
So Kimarte.
Yes. If we go to the root of evil, what do you think it is? What is evil?
In my view, evil is a label that we put on actions that we disapprove of.
Okay.
I'm an anti-realist. I'm not convinced that good and evil are factual properties that exist in the world. I think good and evil and our attitudes towards certain behaviors and so on are symptomatic of our attitudes. No more, no less.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this, because
pretty common view in metaethics. It's called non-cognitivism.
Oh my God. Okay. So where's your standard?
I don't follow. I don't think.
What's your standard of anything? If you don't believe that anything could be good or evil, what's your standard of anything? Is that shirt good or is it bad? Is your glasses good to help you see or is it bad? If I slap you across the face, is that good or is that bad? If you don't believe in good and evil, where does your standard lie?
I think you might be misunderstanding what non-cognitivism is. When you slap me across the face and I say that was bad, my analysis of that language is that I'm not conveying a fact. I don't think that moral claims are truth apt. I don't think when somebody says that is bad, that they're conveying a fact of the matter. I don't think that they're saying something is factually good or factually bad. What they're saying is they're expressing an attitude. Think of it like this. When you smack me in the face and I say that was bad, what I'm really saying is boo. Or if somebody massages my scalp and I say that was good, what I'm really saying is hooray. Right? So my analysis of moral language is this kind of expression of attitudes. That's what moral language is to me.
Okay.
So when you ask me what my standard is, that's a strange question. That sounds like a question you should be asking a moral objectivist, like a utilitarian who might tell you that their standard is the hedonic calculus, or that their standard is pain and pleasure, or a divine command theorist who will tell you that their standard is God or something like that. I'm not so sure there is a standard as such.
No, I was just saying because generally we use good or bad, or good and evil or whatever to distinguish what our standards are. So not to do something because it is bad for you. Now, I wouldn't more so. I think when you're looking at that attitude, we need to come down and stop thinking. Well, okay. I get your point. Your point is more so the action, though. The action of me doing something and me rebuttaling on that action is what that scenario can be described as. If we think about like people and forces and ideas, I think we can like dumb that down to like who's repeatedly committed harmful acts, or how is this going to hurt or help me morally or culturally or anything like that. I think there's a difference between, you know, actual attitude towards something and like, how's this going to help or harm me? So between how's this going to help and like hurt me? Like what's good and what's evil? How do you distinguish that if you think of everything as an attitude or something?
It's a strange question. I mean, what you're asking me is very broad. I mean, if you're asking me personally, I try to live my life by doing things I enjoy, by spending time with people I love, because I enjoy those experiences and I find them to be meaningful and so on. I mean, I don't know what you're asking for here. Like, I enjoy those experiences and they give me fulfillment. And so I do those things as much as I can. And I try to avoid suffering as much as possible, because suffering by definition is unpleasant. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for here.
It's bad.
You can use that word, but again, for me, that just means, for me, when you say that's bad, you're saying boo. I agree. Boo to suffering. I don't like suffering. Boo suffering. I agree.
So what if, I'm gonna get here, but what if, you know, the things you consider to be enjoyable for you are not enjoyable for the other person, and they label you as a bad person, and you label them as a bad person or evil person because, you know, you guys just don't share that same enjoyment of whatever? Like, where's the standard to say, okay, what I'm doing is actually good? Because I can do something
there isn't a standard.
So I can do something that I think is intentionally good to help you, and it actually harms you.
I don't believe there's a standard. If you want to demonstrate that there's a standard, go right ahead. But you don't get to assume that there's a standard.
I can say there's quite of a standard difference between, are you from the UK?
Yes, we'll just say yes to make it easy, yeah.
Okay, so I had a friend who was from Wales, and our standard of living was very, very different. Things I did as like, let's say a joke or anything like that, he thought it was like the worst thing ever. He thought it was rude. He thought it was like, don't ever disrespect me like that, blah, blah,
sure.
blah. So we had to get a middle standard. We had to get a standard of like, okay, I can't treat him like this because, you know, that's considered bad to him. We had to find some middle ground to say, this is our standard.
Were one of you correct?
There's no correctness of it. So
I agree. So it sounds like you're an anti-realist just like me.
Well, in that instance, no one's correct.
Yeah. I just think that instance is more universal. I think the same is true for morality. I don't think there's correct and incorrect. I think people are just expressing their attitudes.
To avoid the confrontation, you get a standard.
Yeah, I have no problem with ifs. I have no problem with what are called hypothetical imperatives. If you want to avoid conflict, then it's probably best to act in such a way as to treat others how they want to be treated and so forth.
So you want conflict.
We're talking over one another, so nobody heard anybody. So I'll just start that sentence again. I agree that hypothetical imperatives can be useful. If you want to avoid conflict, it's probably best not to antagonize people. I've got no problem with that.
It doesn't have to be an antagonization. It could just be something I thought would intentionally help.
Sure, I agree. I can just rephrase the sentence. If you want to get along with others, then you should try and act in a way that they approve of or that they won't be offended by, despite what your intentions might have been. If that's the world you want to live in, then yes, that's the rule you should follow. I've got no problem with hypothetical imperatives.
Yeah, but if we think about evil or what's harmful in the world, we're thinking about the difference of like standards.
The only thing I care about is whether or not moral language expresses facts and whether or not there is, shall we say, an objective stance independent standard. And I'm not convinced that there is.
Okay, so when you talk about this evil in the world, what are we talking about then?
We're talking about things that people disapprove of.
No. You said for God. For God, you said that there's like evil in the world. I'm pretty sure you're like, oh, why are kids dying? Blah blah blah.
Sure, I disapprove of that.
Is that what you're talking about? Or like,
well, the problem of evil, if you want to be more specific, is more of a Bayesian argument. It's a question of whether or not what we see around us is expected on the hypothesis. So theists often articulate the existence of an all-loving and all-powerful God.
Okay.
Given my conceptual analysis of what that means, it seems to me that the world that we see before us is not expected on that hypothesis. So that's a slightly different matter.
So how could you expect all loving in the world when everyone in the world isn't living up to the same standards of God?
I'm not sure I follow that question.
I know you don't. You see how people say the world, like people predict that the world should be all loving and all kindness because God is all powerful and all good.
Yes.
Correct? And you expect that on the world because he's all powerful.
Yeah. So why isn't the world a fundamentally loving and good and decent place?
Because if you actually read, he says, you will get this love. You will get all of this love between each other if you follow my standard. Now, if you defer and do whatever you want, like we're doing right now, we're deferring.
So free will.
Free will.
Okay. So why couldn't God have made us? Why couldn't God have made us such that we were free and we only did good things?
That's not free will.
Why not?
That's not free will.
Why not?
What instance of free will would that be? That's not pain. That's not.
Are you saying that free will necessitates the capacity to do evil?
Yes, literally.
Okay.
Literally. We are not puppets.
Do you believe in heaven?
Yes.
Do we have free will in heaven?
I won't answer that question because
I bet you won't.
I'll be answering. No, I just don't know. So
no. I'm sorry, but you have to say there's free will in heaven because according to you, free will is a good thing that God gives us precisely because it is good. If you're going to say that he doesn't give us free will in heaven, what you're admitting to is that God has committed an evil against us in heaven by robbing us of our free will.
So to your point, I wasn't going to answer because it had just been out of ignorance. I would just be talking. I didn't know per se, but you saying that actually just gave me a clarification on one of the things I read. And yes, we do have free will in heaven, but you got to realize the people that have free will in heaven use their free will to dedicate their life to God.
So in other words, it's possible to be free and only do good things, correct? You just said it. Kimarte, come on, you said it.
No. Listen.
No. I'm sorry. We're not going to change the topic and we're not going to wriggle out of this one. You literally just said that the people in heaven, I'm going to say this as many times as I've got to say it in order.
Wait.
No, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get this out. You literally just said that the people in heaven are free. Upon reflection, they are free, but that the people in heaven use their free will to serve God. Henceforth, by logical entailment, Kimarte, it's possible to have free will and only do good things, correct?
So you're assuming that, I love this, you're assuming that everyone that dedicates their life to God does good.
Do people do evil things in heaven?
I'm talking about on earth.
No, I'm talking about in heaven.
No, so
the people in heaven have free will, Kimarte.
Wait.
No, we're not going back to earth, Kimarte. I've asked you this. No, Kimarte, I already asked you the question and you're refusing to answer it.
No, wait, because you're misinterpreting.
No, I'm not missing anything, Kimarte. I'm not. With respect.
Okay. Why can't I talk?
But I'll tell you exactly why I'm being rude in this moment, Kimarte, and it's because you didn't answer my question. I said correct with an inflection on the end.
Please, before I answer, I need to give you a justification on why you're slipping away from the actual truth that I believe. I'm sorry.
Kimarte, I'm more than happy to hear that, but I need an answer to my question.
What's as X again? X away.
Okay, the question is very simple. Unfortunately, because of this interruption, I got to ask it in 3 parts. Do we have free will in heaven? You say yes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do people do evil in heaven?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. I lied.
Okay,
yes,
so heaven is a place we can do evil?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, so you have a radical redefinition of heaven then. So apparently heaven isn't a place of eternal bliss and happiness and joy.
My brother, I am not perfect. And I can... Sometimes I can get, these bullet points that come to my mind. So, if we remember Satan was in heaven. He did bad. He tried to overthrow God. God threw him out. So yes, you can get kicked out of heaven. That's how it stays good.
Okay. So one final question then.
Of jail.
One final question then.
Okay.
Does God have free will?
I would assume so.
Okay. Does God do evil?
No.
Okay, so there you go. You can be free and do no evil.
But God is no person.
It doesn't matter. God has free will and doesn't do evil. So by your own lights, Kimarte, it is possible. It is possible by your own lights to both be free and do no evil.
But I would have to be a spirit in order to do that.
No, I don't. There's no, unless you're going to provide an argument for that. That's not really relevant. Whatever the case may be, it is possible to be free. Even if, look, I'll just grant that. Okay, you have to be a spirit, right? Fine. If you're a spirit, you can be free and do no evil. Correct?
Correct.
So why didn't God just make us spirits on earth then?
Because you wouldn't be a person.
Why not? Why? Who cares? God could have made us such that we were spirits on earth.
Why are you trying to look? No. See, you cannot say we could have been this, we could have been that, we could have been this, we could have been.
Why not?
No, we are.
Why not?
Because we are humans, and we are.
God is all powerful. God could do anything He wants.
Okay, this would be a if was a fifth. Okay, and we're just both gonna sound drunk if we just keep saying we could have been a zebra. Like, no.
No, Kimarte, no, you're straining credulity now. You're straining credulity.
So I literally want you to understand that my initial point before, you were being rude was that God...
I was only rude because you didn't answer my question, Kimarte.
Well, I answered now. Not
quite, but I'm letting you finish out of the kindness of my heart. But I'm going to readdress the question in a moment.
Like my answer, that's why. Yes, we have free will, and we on earth can do evil. Okay. God is a spirit, and God is above, and He is all powerful, and He is all good. So when you label Him all good and free will, that's where that differential comes into place. Us, born out of sin, our natural nature is to sin. It is very much harder to use our free will to do all good. Now that's actually what differs a Christian from a regular person. The act of repentance and the act of trying to do better. We know we're not going to do better. That's why I didn't say, I do all good, or, someone else is going to do all good, because we are going to sin. But the difference is between me and you, like, if I stop what I'm doing, then that's the difference. Okay?
Kimarte, by your own admission, right, it is possible.
No,
You can tell me what the conditions are.
What?
No, stop. No, sorry. I'm going to have to mute you, Kimarte. I'm going to have to mute you if you're going to try to talk over me now. With respect, I listened to you. I sat here quietly and did it. I sat here quietly.
I'm sorry.
For 30 to 60 seconds, and I let you say your piece. So I'm going to say my piece now.
Go ahead.
Whatever the conditions are, by your own lights, God is both free and does no evil. So your own worldview entails the possibility of both being free and carrying out no evil. Now, you can wax lyrical about how that's only possible if you're a spirit. Fine. I don't care what the conditions are. By your own lights, it's possible to be free and commit no evil. Henceforth, the most obvious conclusion in the world, it was possible for God to create us such that we were both free and did no evil. And the fact that God did not avail himself of that possibility, a possibility by your very own lights, makes evil God's responsibility, not ours.
Your point is, I can give birth to a zebra because everyone can give birth.
Kim Arte, that's not my point.
Not a zebra.
No. That's not my point.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not, Kim Arte. No, that's not my point. No, that would only be an apples to apples comparison.
No,
I'm sorry. No, I've just muted you, Kim Arte. I've just muted you because I'm tired of being interrupted. So if you want to stay on the line, cool, and I'll unmute you in a moment. But I gotta get this out. Your zebra comparison is utter garbage, Kim Arte, and here's why. If you had admitted that God creates human zebras or some such hybrid, then this would be an apples to apples comparison. You see the disanalogy here? You admitted yourself that God can create, that God himself rather has free will and he can do no evil. You admitted yourself that God is free, he has free will, and yet he does no evil. At no point did you admit that God can create human zebra hybrids, so that would be utterly irrelevant. It is the fact that you conceded, according to your very own worldview, that God can be both free and do no evil. That is what makes this a significant point, and not the same as your point about zebras. The fact that according to your very own worldview, it's possible to both be free and do no evil means that God could have created that for us here on earth as well. But he didn't. Now, you want to say, but only God can be free and do no evil, and humans are different. Special pleading. Look it up. According to your very own claim, by your own lights, it's possible to be free and to do no evil. So if it was possible for God to live that way, then it was possible for God to create human beings who would have been limited in power, who wouldn't have been the same as God. God wouldn't have been creating gods. He could have created us as spirits if he wanted to, and we could have been free and do no evil. But instead, according to you, God created us with the kind of free will that allows us to commit evil. And as such, it is his fault, not ours, because God could have availed himself of the exact same kind of free will that he has, where you're free and you do no evil. So Kim Arte has left, unfortunately, and I'm sorry that the call ended that way, but he kept talking over me. And he kept raising this ridiculous zebra point, which was utter garbage, a complete straw man. And I'm not having that. No, I'm not having that on this channel. Sorry. When you get your feet held to the fire, take it, accept it, and respond after your interlocutor has had time to make their bloody point, for Christ's sake. Goodness gracious me.